Black screen. Are you scared yet? Oh, there we are. Okay. Hello. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, the boys are back in town. Guess what, guys? Just as we predicted, rallies were coming. A little sooner than we thought, but Solana getting closer towards that $200 target we talked about last week. Also, Bitcoin breaking above 68K. What is going on? We're going to be covering all of this in this episode. T-Shroom is back. We're going to have a great time. Let's roll the intro and let's get into all of this amazing content. Well, how do it do there, T-Shroom? How you doing, man?
Better than I deserve. Had a great bachelor party this weekend. A lot of energy, a lot of fun, and a lot of water because we were down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We stayed very hydrated, a lot of fluids, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, again, most hydrated channel here in the crypto universe.
That's right.
Why wouldn't you be hydrated down in Fort Lauderdale celebrating? What was the best part of the entire weekend?
Well, I got to see Lionel Messi play soccer for the Miami team.
Hurt.
Yeah, he was, but he heard that T-Shroom was going to be there, and so he got back up. He picked himself up in his bootstraps and made it happen.
Perfect. What was the worst part about the whole thing?
The worst part was just I hate having to put on sunscreen, But
see, I had teed you up right there to say because you weren't there, Tim, but then you didn't say that, and now it ruined my joke.
Oh.
Okay. Well, guess what, everyone? We're going to talk about crypto because I'm had enough hearing about this bachelor party. And this episode, everyone, is brought to you guys by Arculus wallets, the greatest wallets in the game. If you want to protect your crypto, I don't know if you ever heard that expression, not your keys, not your crypto. Well, it's 100% true. You're going to want to get a cold wallet, and there's none better than Arculus. Also, shout out to Arculus for being a sponsor of this channel, helping us keep lights on and sending T-Shroom to Fort Lauderdale for bachelor trips. If you guys want to see that continue to happen, then you need to go get yourself an Arculus wallet and protect your crypto investments today. T-Shroom, you got a quote of the day for us back from your illustrious trip?
Oh, it was so illustrious, Tim. The beauty of genuine brotherhood and peace is more precious than diamonds or silver or gold, Tim. Do you think MLK would have added Bitcoin in there if he'd known about it?
I think he would have ignored all the rest. Bitcoin would have been enough.
Wow.
And he would have just said, all right, screw the rest of these commodities. We're going to go with Bitcoin. Username said, missed Shroomy in the AM. It didn't feel right. Yeah. No 9 a.m. stream.
Yeah. I didn't return until about 1 a.m. last night, Eastern Standard, back to North Florida. So it wouldn't have been a quality show. I would have been dragging my consciousness across the sand, and it just would have been terrible. But now I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty hydrated.
That absolutely happens. Well, you know what you brought back from your bachelor trip? Let's go to my screen here. It's green bubbles is what you brought back. That's a zoomed-in version.
And a really good zoomed-in image of none other than MLK. You got to love it. There we go.
All right. And there we go. I'm not even there we go. I'm in the bottom left corner. There we go. I gotta center myself now. T-Shroom's back, everybody, and we gotta fix some frames. Pith is up really nicely today, up here 19, almost 20%. Pendle not doing too shabby itself, right there at 18. Beam up 16. Tau up 10. Injective 14. What else we got? Graph is up really big here, 8.4. I mean, oh, I don't have to. Theta. Look at Theta coming in. Theta's one, people sleep on Theta. There's people hating on Theta. We talked about it here on Saturday. I like Theta. I don't think I currently have a bag. I probably should. I think Theta could be okay. Ajax is doing, there's a lot of coins. I can't even tell you guys all the ones. Sui's up almost 10%, up 8.9. Phantom's up 8.2. You got a couple reds in here. Let's just focus on those for a second. Core down 1.4. Look at this one. Big Dog had itself a nice little run up earlier last week. Down 2.6 for Link. I think that is a specific thing to today, though. Don't get used to seeing Link in a red bubble. HTX is in there as well. So what is this one? Is that KuCoin? Well, okay, it's KuCoin token. We don't really count KuCoin token anymore. doesn't make the bill. Let's check out what's happening with others. I was looking at Caspa price earlier. We're not talking about Caspa in this video. I do think T-Shroom, though, is going to be putting on a video later this week about Caspa, so stay tuned for that. Let's check out the markets as a whole with the top 10. Bitcoin itself is up 3.3, Ethereum 2.5. The biggest top 10 gainer, I do believe, is Solana. Solana up 6.4%. Of course, the title does include Solana. We'll be talking about it a decent amount. I'm going to give you guys more my thoughts on Solana too, because I've now put out 2 Solana price prediction videos, updating my information. I don't think I'm going to put out a third, at least for a long time. I will say watching what Solana's doing makes me think that I'm probably wrong with my price prediction that I've put out more recently about where it can get to in 2025. I'll talk more about that here in a couple of minutes. You guys stick around for the show. But ultimately, look at this. You'll love to see it. A sea of green here in the 24-hour column amongst not only just the top 10, but you start getting into the top 15. AVAX, you'll love to see it. A sea of 4% there as well. Ooh, and a nice echo coming in for the T-Shroom. Let's get into some charts here, T-Shroom. It's good to have you back. It's good to have you back. We'll work on some button pushing later on, though. We'll practice. Bitcoin is going up here. You guys, if you guys have been watching the channel now for a hot minute, if you're subscribed, you knew that last week we actually talked about Bitcoin getting up here, potentially pushing up above $70,000. Why? Well, a couple of reasons. The first one being is that we broke out of a descending trading channel. Well, these more often than not break to the upside when you move this over to the breakout position. Again, that gives us a price prediction roughly around 70,700, a little bit below 71,000. But then you come on here and you start to turn on LuxAlgo indicators. And now you are seeing we got a nice strong buy signal last week. We mentioned that. We talked about how significant that would be. I told you I thought this would be a big one, and I don't think it's done just yet. Look at it, though, conservatively here with an order block looking to target 71,000. The most aggressive part of it would give us a new all-time high up at 76. I think it's a little too soon to be talking about brand new all-time highs. But I will tell you an update on what Bitcoin is doing. I thought there'd be a little bit more of a pullback, and there was a slight bit of one back down slightly below 66,000 temporarily yesterday. But now Bitcoin is back up. It's above that smart trail here on the daily chart, confirming how bullish this position is. Now that smart trail comes down and gives us a good level of support. But whether or not I think we're going to have a little bit of bouncing going on first. I don't think we're going to hit 71 by tonight by any means. I would not be surprised even if over the next day or two, we do come back down and retest this breaker block, which is a former strong order block we just smashed through, did not reject. And so if you're looking for the next good spot, you might want to take a look somewhere in the 67 to as low as 65, but really there's a lot of reasons to like 66 to 67 zone as a potential retracement before that push up above 70,000 again. And then the things are piling up right now to say that Bitcoin should be going that high here shortly. Yes, we got the stochastics RSI to the upside, but not necessarily seeing anything bearish happen on that oscillator just yet. Would not be surprised to see this oscillator do a mini version of this where it does slightly come back down. Remember, I told you it could come back down to 66, 67, and then come back and top out again all the way up at 100. And that's when we potentially at the 71K or so could see some resistance right in there. But that's what I'm seeing. That's like the one indicator right now that I'm looking at that I don't like on the Bitcoin daily chart. You look here at the RSI. Remember how significant I was? I told you the other day when we broke through 50 for the first time in a while. We've been rejecting for weeks. Now we're starting to head back up above 70. You love to see that. A lot of bullishness left on that RSI for Bitcoin. The MACD still looking to the upside, building up those big green histograms. We got a long way to go before this MACD is overextended. And of course, there's the LuxAlgo oscillator, which did give us a very good buy signal here just a couple of days ago with reversals in play, green momentum, and positive money flow. These are all the things you want to see to be bullish on a project, and Bitcoin has all of them. I'll just kind of briefly show you again. What am I looking at to say maybe 66, 67? Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart where we've been breaking through a lot of things. We had a smart trail concept coming in down towards 65, but guess where we have a nice breaker block and order block sitting right here in that 66, 67 zone, 67,000, I would say. And then, of course, here on the hourly chart as well, same thing. So we're building up these breaker blocks up here around 67, give or take. Good reason to believe that potentially that's a lot of strong support in there. So anyone who's saying, man, I missed on a long opportunity for Bitcoin, what's my next opportunity? You don't want to chase these rallies. Wait for them to come back. Even if that return is a little higher, if that floor got a little higher, you still don't want to buy into the top of this rally. And the reason why is because let's just pretend. Let me do a fake little trade for you guys and show you why this could be a disastrous move to go ahead and enter now. Let's go up here to the daily chart. Let's pretend you have your take profit up here at 71, and I would go ahead and hit my long. Boom, boom, boom. Where are we going? Where's my long? There we go. Long position. All right. Let's say I enter a trade right now, and I put my take profit right here at $71,000. Well, that's only a 3% gain, which means if I want to be safe, if I want to practice safe trading habits, I really only want a 1% stop loss, meaning I don't want to risk more than a third of what I'm standing to gain. Well, now all of a sudden that puts my stop loss at 68,100. There's a relatively decent chance we break below 68,000, right? Well, in that case, I'm going to be more conservative, not so risky, but I'm going to look for a potential better opportunity to enter. Let me go ahead and get rid of this one. I'm going to redraw it. I told you I like 67 at this point. Even if it drops a little bit below that, let's find 67. Let's go even 67,100. Now, all of a sudden, I start to take this 70%, $71,000 profit. Now I have to work with about 6%, so I can risk 2. So now I'm not really getting a stop out unless I see price drop back below 65,700. And as we mentioned, when I look at these smaller time frames, a lot of support between where I enter that trade and where that stop loss is. So that's just an example right there of why you do not chase trades and buy in on big rallies. You want to wait for small pullbacks. Don't regret. Don't beat yourself up and say, I missed out on 66. I have to go and jump in now at 68. Be patient. Be careful. Things come back around. No markets just go up, up, up in the right. They always have small retracements before bigger moves. So caution to the wind right there, guys. Don't chase the pumps. Wait for small pullbacks and then enter in. I do think more pumps are coming. That being said, speaking of pumps that are coming, let's talk about Solana. Heading back up, one of the few altcoins that is back within striking range and distance of its previous high for this rally. Not yet to where we have all-time high in play. We still need to see, is it 260? Is that the high? Man, we're not that far away from that all-time high either here for Solana. But for now, the target we're keeping an eye on, we mentioned last week, is that $200 level. Let's pull up a little bit as to why that is and reasons to be bullish right now on Solana. Again, what we have going on here, our take profit, we're looking at somewhere between 195 to 200, a big order block in this area because that was the price action we got to back here in April. That is the more aggressive part of our take profit here on the daily chart. You can see we've already moved into the lower take profit, the beginning, the more conservative level. But with the momentum and speed that we see the market moving at right now, once again, am I thinking that you should be entering along right here at 180 for hopes of taking profit at 200? Not necessarily. I still think there are dips that come, healthy dips. You guys can even see here on the daily chart, look at these white candles, but you see wicks that drop low. You see a blue candle in the mix. This is something that naturally that happens. They pull back to certain levels. When you come down here and you look at lower levels like the 4-hour chart, I'm starting to like where the smart trail and an order block are coming in back around 166. So again, am I chasing trades here? Not necessarily. I'm going to wait for small pullbacks. I'm going to say, all right, let's be conservative here. And let's go ahead and do a take profit somewhere on 166. I still have my take profit at 200. That's a 20% gain, everybody. So now I get roughly 6.5% of a stop loss. That puts me way down here, stop loss back at 155. A lot of reasons why it'd be very hard for Solana to get back in that area. I'm doing you guys a lot of work here. This is normal stuff I save for my VIP trading group. I'm not going to go through every single coin, but if you guys want to be a part of my VIP trading group, this is the exact type of stuff that I go through on the daily basis. I give people trade setups. If you guys tell me what coins you're looking at, I can tell you what I would look at on a trade for that one as well. Not that I'm giving financial advice, just some education on why I choose certain levels. You guys are getting a special treat, though, as I'm showing you this. But before I move on too much further here, T-Shroom, again, I'm kind of walking through the reasons why I think Solana is going to the upside. But I've recently made videos. I made one 4 or 5 months ago. And this is talking about back when Solana was probably sitting below $100, probably in the $80, $90 range. And we discussed the $1,000 mark. Well, I updated it here a month or so ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago. And I said, I think that 1,000 is definitely still doable. Maybe we creep up a little higher than that, go to 12 to 1,400. But you guys got to keep in mind, when I'm saying this, I'm assuming that Solana would be like the number 3 ranked altcoin. If we come back over here to CoinMarketCap, it's already sitting here. It's number 5, but one of the coins in this place is a stable coin. At the top of the bull market, I'm expecting the stable coins to drop lower. I think Solana definitely will jump BNB. I think there's a good chance it's sitting at number 3. And the question is how well Chainlink does to be at number 3 or number 4, but that's a different conversation. And you got to understand, traditionally, sitting in this spot number 3, a coin there is only going to have at best a 5% dominance of where the total crypto market cap is going to be. I'm of the personal persuasion. I think that total market cap for crypto sits in the $11 trillion zone. So when you do the math, 5% is not going to crush it to where we're sitting at massive market caps, right? Solana's price will definitely be kept to a lower level based on market cap. And the only thing I can think of to predict this is, well, in previous bear markets, what is the dominance level of that number 3 spot? And again, it's sitting roughly somewhere around 4 to 5%. However, Solana's being so special here, T-Shroom. It's doing such great things. It continues to build. And it doesn't matter what FUD you throw at it. It doesn't matter what accusation you throw at it. It doesn't matter if you come up with a logical reason as to why the product might not have a long term after this. The project just keeps going up and to the right and melting faces in the process of doing it. So I'm sitting here saying, guys, I think there's an outside chance Solana bucks the trend. I'm not going to go as high as saying, I've heard people say as high as 3,000 or 4,000 for Solana. That's still absolutely ludicrous. I'm going to say, do not be surprised if Solana makes a case to 1,500 to 2,000 and breaks that cycle, becomes the best number 3 altcoin of all time at the top of a bull market with maybe closer to a 7 or 8% dominance. It's crazy, but I think that those things could happen. I want to clarify something for anyone who has been watching YouTube here. There's been some misinformation spread amongst the world. And I'm not going to say this to you guys to make you fall in love with Solana or say like, oh, you got to dump all your other bags for Solana. There's still a lot of projects I think will make you more money from here on out than Solana because it's already so high. But I've seen a couple of YouTubers now, and I'm not going to say any names because I still respect all these names that say this, but it's just misinformation, probably because a lot of these content creators like Cardano pretty heavily, so they grasp on information that's maybe not favorable to Solana. There's a rough estimate that Solana on average has a 21% inflation rate. That is false. It's just unequivocally false. If you go back to its beginning creation and go to today and you average it out, that's where that number is coming from. Like if you were to say from the beginning of Solana back in 2021 to today, if you take its average inflation and divide it by 4 or 3 at this point, it comes out to 20. They've inflated 21%. That happened because of a lot of unlocks. Ultimately, if you go and read the white paper for Solana, they have a plan of how they're going to distribute their coins and how they have inflation. Right now, I could be wrong on this number. I think I say the number in my price prediction video I most recently made. So go check that one for the accurate number because I don't have the notes up with me. But it's sitting closer to like 4.7%. So anyone who heard that and said, uh-oh, Solana has a 21% inflation rate, this is unmanageable and it's going to ruin Solana, that information is not accurate. It's actually at 4.5. It had massive unlocks. It had some massive upticks in supply, but that happens with everything when it first comes out. Even Bitcoin at a certain point was doubling in supply daily. But the more mature things get, if they have good roadmaps, and Solana does, they have plans for lowering that inflation so that the price doesn't get suppressed. So again, just wanted to, anyone who maybe have heard that rumor and thought, man, do I need to sell all of my Solana and get rid of it because it has a massive inflation? That's wrong information. It's actually saying like 4.7 or 4.9%. Pretty on par, actually better than a lot of other coins.
Yeah, really quick. This is definitely not, the gospel of crypto by any means, but this was a company that I did a podcast with. This guy who was the host, he made this website, and he puts it at 5.3% is the inflation rate for Solana, and he's gone through and calculated it for all of these different cryptos. Is this the end all be all truth of what Solana's inflation rate is? No, but this is a
He had
much closer to what Tim and I are kind of saying here.
So this is just T-shirt. This is last year. So every year it drops by like 12%, 14% of what it was before. And so I think doing the math, it works out to like this next year in 2025 or 2024. Yeah, by the end of 2024, it should be like 4.7, 4.9. I think 5.3 or 5.6 was 2023's inflation rate.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't know exactly where he's finding this number, but it's not 20, right?
Yeah.
It's not. It's in the single digits. Just out of curiosity, let's see. I've sorted it by inflation here. B&B actually has the best inflation rate.
The Crux is saying he's doing this. He's currently 5.3. It started at 8%, drops 15%. Okay, 15%. There you go. Until it reaches 1.5. So maybe it's in 2025 it drops to 4.7. I just know that there's in the video. I remember it's at 5 something right now, and then okay, that's also good. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure that was a little bit of a segue, but it was again. I've seen a lot of influencers that I do respect, and I think they have very good opinions. They just didn't understand that part of Solana. And you guys know here, I love Cardano. I am a big Cardano fan. I'm just one of the few people I feel like in this world that doesn't think if I like one coin, that means I have to hate another. I feel like that represents a large portion of the crypto landscape. I feel like you can like both what Cardano does as a project fundamentally and the money you can make from Solana at the same time. But I think a lot of times when someone wants to dislike a coin, they're tempted to take convenient information and not understand the actual details of what's going on. Yeah. I'm here just to help you guys understand Solana is not a crazy inflated coin. Yes, people don't like that it has that infinity symbol next to its max supply, but that's when you go. You don't stop there. Neither does Ethereum, by the way, everybody. Neither does a lot of projects. That's where you got to go read their white papers. You got to listen to the team and see what the roadmap is. And then you don't freak out so hard and present false information.
And let me just say, this is I refer to this maybe once a quarter. It's not something that I'm referring to a lot because the guy literally just reached out to me via email, and so I don't know him from Adam necessarily, but he has clearly spent some time in crypto putting all this information together. And the website is coinexams.com.
T-Shim, could you drop a link in the comments?
You know what? I think I will. I think I will go ahead and do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, everybody, we're going to take a break from technical analysis. We'll have more at the end of the show during Q&A, but I definitely wanted to focus on both Bitcoin and Solana. If you're joining us late, you can scroll back a little bit. Ultimately, Bitcoin over 68, probably still making its way to 70 or even 71, and I do believe Solana is on its way back to 200. Are we predicting brand new all-time highs to hit? Not necessarily just yet. I still think there's a lot of action that needs to work itself out sideways. And again, if you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, or if you've been a member now, like Username just became, welcome to the BROZ Username. You guys know we've talked about the ranging action post-halving that normally happens in crypto. And so I will rejoice when we see new all-time highs. I'm just not expecting them for the next couple of months, and I would not be surprised to see 71,000 for Bitcoin and $200 for Solana be local highs that we reject and cool off again. But it does present some good trading opportunities, so I will take advantage of that because I do like to trade. Let's go ahead, T-Shroom, and people are loving the show. They can smash that like button, hit subscribe while we jump into some news here with you today.
Absolutely. Heck yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump on into the news. Right now, the news is looking a little bit very much focused on a single name, and that name is Grayscale. So Grayscale here is having a huge swap of their leadership. Eric Volcana said, wow, big shakeup at Grayscale. That was this morning at 9. Grayscale's CEO, Michael Sonnenschein, steps down, according to the Wall Street Journal. And Grayscale also names in the same day Goldman Sachs' Peter Mintzberg as the new CEO. So this is really what the market is trying to digest. Does this matter? Is this going to affect the GBTC fees, which have yet to be changed, to my knowledge, still at 1.5 versus the other fees for the Bitcoin spot ETFs. But this is definitely a big story because if that fee changes, that could potentially have put some brakes on the sell thesis of one of the biggest sellers of Bitcoin, Grayscale. So there he is, Michael Sonnenschein. This is how CoinDesk is covering this. Grayscale CEO Michael Sonnenschein steps down to be replaced by TradFi veteran, right? And that's kind of you kind of see how some of the wider talking points could start to emerge here. So let's learn a little bit about this TradFi veteran. And I'm actually going to turn to Forbes magazine. This is their story here. Fortune, excuse me. Mintzberg has a 2-decade-long career on Wall Street with prior roles at the now competing spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund Invesco and BlackRock. So he's worked for Invesco and BlackRock in addition to Oppenheimer funds. He will also join Grayscale's board. So I think TradFi veteran is an apt title to put on this man, Mintzberg. Now, what are the implications of this? Is this a clear, Wall Street takeover of one of the largest Bitcoin holders? What is going on here? It's not exactly clear. Tim, what are your thoughts here? Do you think that this is going to be significant? Do you think it's a nothing burger? What are your thoughts here?
All right, well, real quick, I'm having a thought on that. Breaking, though, in case people are not looking at charts, Bitcoin over 69 shot up while we were talking news, wrestling with 69.7. So it's in that take profit now on the 4-hour chart. Again, I said earlier, I don't think that it's going to hit 71,000 by the end of the day. I could be wrong. I still think that that's going to be hard to accomplish, but it is definitely on the breakout right now. That 4-hour chart still looks like we have some room. Actually, about to have a bullish cross on the MACD right there on the 4-hour chart. 1 hour looking a little more overexposed, like it might want to cool off, but we'll keep you posted if anything changes. But I wanted to start with that. You can go back to our double screen here, T-Shroom. I don't know if I have strong opinions just yet. I'm not an investigative reporter. There's times where I wish I was, though, because I feel like I have the right questions to ask. Here's my questions. Who is this Peter Mintzberg? Because, of course, he's coming from Goldman Sachs. Let's just kind of, we don't know certain things, but let's focus on what we do know. Goldman Sachs is not necessarily anti-crypto, but they're not friends of it either. In fact, they're very much fans of traditional finance. Well, who else has come from Goldman Sachs, has been acquainted and been rumored to potentially making critical decisions to keep power at places like Goldman Sachs? That'd be good old Gary Gensler. Gary Gensler has been a big enemy of crypto, and yet a friend and a kind of a cohort of members at Goldman Sachs. So who is Peter Mintzberg? I think you can't just say, well, he's a former Goldman Sachs employee, therefore he must suck when it comes to crypto thoughts. My assumption would be, especially with Grayscale being on the forefront of crypto investing, they wouldn't hire a CEO who is anti one of their bigger investment platforms, with being Grayscale. Now, it's curious with them recently removing their bid for the Ethereum ETF. It's curious to know if the company Grayscale is softening on crypto, but we don't know that to be true. The whole point is it's too early to write off Peter and say this is a big mistake, but I'm looking forward to, in the next couple of days, there are investigative reporters. There are people who are going to do nothing but investigate Peter's relationship with Goldman Sachs, his relationship with crypto, his relationship with Gary Gensler, and we'll have an answer on, is this potentially a negative move for the crypto space? At this point, it's too early to say for sure, but I think if you're not at least asking those questions to yourself, you are potentially leaving yourself open for a blindside hit on your crypto hopes and dreams. Ultimately, let's just pretend, though, let's say Grayscale goes anti-crypto because of the new CEO. I don't think crypto's leaning on Grayscale as a whole. That's a small ding on crypto temporarily, but ultimately, I think you'll just see the likes of BlackRock and others pick up the slack and say, "Oh, you want to dump all of your your investors' holdings in crypto? All right, that's fine. We'll pick up your investors. We'll pick up your clients. Good for us." So all roads still lead to massive bull market. It's just, if we saw something negative happen and we saw a pullback, there's a scenario where we see an article in the next couple of months where it says Grayscale dumping all of their crypto, Grayscale going anti-crypto, and all of a sudden the market's like, what's happening? And the people sell off because they don't know what's happening, and then everything ends up okay. That's kind of where my brain is right now, T-Shroom. Yep. That's a lot of forward thinking without information. It's just questions. I have a lot of questions I want answers to.
Absolutely. So there is a quote here. this is from Barry Silbert, CEO of Grayscale's parent company, DCG, Digital Currency Group. He said, Michael, meaning the former CEO, Michael Sonnenschein, Michael guided the firm through exponential growth and oversaw its pivotal role in bringing spot Bitcoin ETFs to market, leading the way for a broader financial industry. So that's Barry kind of saying, hey, you did a great job, Michael. We're bringing in another guy. So here's the way that I read this. And I was actually having some conversations with some of my buddies at the bachelor party this weekend about this transition from a growth-oriented company to a cash cow-oriented company where you're transitioning. So think about the classic example of this in our time is Apple, right? They were at one point one of the fastest-growing companies in the world, right? And now they just kind of sit and twiddle their fingers and make microscopic improvements to the iPhone because they're in a cash cow phase. Now, could they switch and go into a growth phase? They could. I think that's what we're seeing here. And all this is just they're bringing in a ringer from Wall Street he's got a lot of connections in the wealth management world at a very high level. I'm just kind of taking a look at his LinkedIn. He also, when he worked for BlackRock, he was the COO and head of strategy in Latin America and Iberia. So he's got a lot of connections in Latin America. What does that mean? I don't know, right? But that's what he did for BlackRock. And then he did a bunch of work over here for Oppenheimer Funds, which isn't one that I've really heard of much, right? But there's, he's been around. He's been around Wall Street, not just Goldman. And I think that what we're seeing here is it's a change in that the company is going from heavily risk averse, taking a lot of risk, being able to move nimble, being able to pivot and have all these complex legal operations to be able to fight the SEC that's constantly banging on their door. They're going from that to kind of transitioning. Okay, that phase is kind of over. We needed a Michael Schonenstein, for the heck you pronounce his name, and he did a great job at being that nimble CEO that needed to turn on a dime and on and on. Now we're bringing in a different person for a different chapter of the company who is much more connected. This is a company that's not really proving itself anymore. It's now proven, and now it's just ready to plug into the broader Wall Street global finance base, which will have its positives for decentralization movement and will have its negatives for the decentralization movement. But I think overall, this is going to expand adoption of Bitcoin because this guy is a ringer from Wall Street. He's going to come in and he's going to unlock a lot of doors that the former CEO wasn't able to.
We got to redirect now, T-Shroom. I need you to do some research. You need to share my screen.
Ethereum
we are pumping on everything. I'm gonna walk through, but I'm gonna start off with Ethereum because Ethereum's actually a pretty cool. What's happening right now is pretty cool. We have a longer term, just like Bitcoin. We had a descending channel. This one, you could make a good argument, was a more aggressive descending channel. Now, on the daily chart, we're breaking through here. There's a long amount. There's a lot of time before we close candles above this. So let's not rejoice too early, but at the same time, I really do like what we're seeing here. One thing I will say, though, and we talked about this last week, keep an eye on the daily breaker block for Ethereum that's in play. These are traditionally very bearish. We've had a lot of rejections in this breaker block, even 1 wick above it here in the last couple of months. But ultimately, if we just start closing daily candles above what we need to get above, really pretty much 3,300, give or take. If we start closing some candles above 3,300 on the daily chart for Ethereum, that is going to be massive in breaking this breaker block and showing that the bulls are firmly back in control. But you can see here on the 1 hour chart, big price action here. We've kind of turned a new breaker block, some new level of support at 3,100 for Ethereum. So if we had any type of a pullback whatsoever, that's kind of my target. I'm looking at 3,100, give or take. Looks to be pretty important. Before I take a look at some other altcoins, because again, Chainlink breaking 17, that's the level we gave it as a target. ICP back up above 13. Cardano's on the move, back up over 48, starting to retest 49. We'll go check out the charts of a lot of altcoins, probably for the rest of this show. But T-Shirt, did you find any breaking news happening right now that says what's going on?
I did. So it looks like the smoking gun here. Spot Ethereum ETF approval odds increase to 75% from 25%, according to Bloomberg ETF analyst. I would take a wild guess that's probably Eric Bulkanis.
Can we go to that website? Do you think that website's updated?
I've got it pulled up, Tim. I've got it pulled up.
T-Stream's on top of it. There we go.
So this is the betting spread, right? This is people putting their money where their mouth is. Holy crap, Tim! Did you see me just refresh that page?
Yep, then it went to 51. Yeah, it's gonna.
It went from 17 to 51.
Yeah.
Refresh
again.
I'm surprised that this website isn't just crashing. So this is people in live time. You all saw it here on the Investing Bros. That's crazy. It went from 17 to 50, and it's hovering right around 50%. That's okay. So this is breaking news. This is big deal. This is I don't know what's going on here. Let's see if we can find this post here from Eric or maybe some other Bloomberg analyst. But
yeah, you take a look at that. Go and share my screen. Let's check out other altcoins while you're looking. Oh, you have it already?
I found, yeah.
And you're fast on that one too.
I know, Tim. I'm too fast. James Seyfert and I are increasing our odds of the spot Ether ETF approval to 75%, up from 25%. Hearing chatter this afternoon that the SEC could be doing a 180 on this increasingly political issue. So now everyone's scrambling like us. Everyone else assumed they'd be denied. See Nate's tweet below for probability order of events. But again, we capping at 75% until we see more, e.g. filing updates. Goodness gracious, Tim. What a time to go live. This is a bigger moment in crypto right here. Of course, this is not, just to be clear, this is not the approval of the spot Ethereum ETF, but this is major commentators indicating that it is much more likely as of today, as of 4 minutes ago when I refreshed Polymarkets, that this could be a huge bullish catalyst for Ethereum coming up. Of course, I'm kind of wondering what is the degree to which this is already priced in. How have the Ethereum markets been pricing this for a rejection and an eventual lawsuit? And how underbought is Ethereum right now? I mean, could we see a 20% day for Ethereum? Let's go back to your charts, Tim. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, I'm about to go up to longer charts. While you guys are watching, we have shot up above pretty much on that news happening. All the markets going crazy. Over 330 people in here. Smash that like button. Let's get up over 200 likes before we're done being live. You guys are watching. Ethereum is climbing even as we speak. I'm down here. This is the minute chart, and we are just continuing to rip up here, getting close to that 3,300. I think it's a very important level to get above there. Let's just take a look, though. Let's come out here and do some stuff. I already told you guys about the 3,300 level that I'm interested in breaking and holding on the daily chart. Once you get above there, look what just flashed here, guys. This was not here when we were, at least I didn't see it when we were here literally 5 minutes ago. We are printing a buy signal now on LuxAlgo. You guys can see here, we hit our take profit on the sell order way back in April, so Lux called that one perfectly. But now there's a lot of momentum coming in, and you're not going to see the volume crazy on the daily chart, but I guarantee you, we come down here in the 1 hour chart, I'm liking this volume that's coming in. It's not the highest we've seen, so let's get more, and I expect it to come. But if someone says my chart is lagging, well, that might just be because they're trying to update the information as best as possible. What charts are you guys looking at? I've heard someone say already over 3,400. Let's see if this is Binance. Let's see if for some reason it's higher. Let's see. Bitstamp. Bitstamp is a lot higher. Let's see. Is Coinbase. So Binance must be lagging behind right now. So I'll switch everything. We'll take a look at Coinbase now because it is over 3,400, even more so. So thank you for that update, chat. We'll take a look at this chart. Binance will probably be not that far behind. Bitcoin flirting with 70,000. I feel like I'm calling a horse race or something.
Yeah, like a horse race or like a boxing match.
And they're coming around the corner. It's coming around the corner. He's in the second place. Oh, there we go. Ethereum's gone. All right. Anyway, back to the charts here. Going to the daily chart. Let's take a look at longer time frame positions. I bet you, based off of where this flashed and where we're going, we're wrestling with that daily smart trail. I would expect the take profits to probably start somewhere up here towards 3,800 is going to be a nice zone to watch here. That's going to be the first level of this red resistance, this cloud that's going to be important. But here's the thing. I mean, remember how crazy Bitcoin went? And it wasn't just Bitcoin. Remember how crazy the altcoin space went? Let's go back to that date really quickly and take a look at that. Let's turn off LuxAlgo just so we can see the chart a little more clearly. It wasn't so much that okay, so this was it. This was the fake news day. Remember October 16th, fake news that they were going to get approval. Well, a lot of people thought charts would go down. We had a small retracement. And then here on the 23rd of October, this was the announcement that the approval was getting more and more likely. Bitcoin went crazy here on October 23rd. Let's see, what did Ethereum do back on October 23rd? Ethereum went pretty nuts here in October. I think this is the same time Solana kind of took off. October 23rd. Well, not really. Solana actually didn't do much. It has a white candle right there. But a lot of the altcoin space, let's just come over here and look at total 2. This does not include Bitcoin. This is just altcoins, excluding it. That's a pretty big white candle. Not the largest you see on the chart, but a pretty big white candle. The entire space went pretty positively when it became confirmed that Bitcoin's ETF was an issue of when, not if anymore, officially. Well, it looks like the information we're getting right now, T-Shroom, is that the Ethereum ETF is a when, not if question. And it looks like it's heating up. Maybe we're going to come into the final hour if they have to make decisions to get that approval in. Let's see. Well, we're already out of May. We're not going to get the May approval. What's the date now we're looking at? June or July?
No. It'd still be May. May 30th, I believe, is the day.
They just had till May 3rd. I think the original one was like May 15th or May 11th or something. So we're past that first.
The poly market bet has been the 31st.
I think I updated. But still, okay, that they'd have to do a lot. Because remember, I mean, Bitcoin, again, we're talking about on Bitcoin, we went from October 23rd was when we kind of got the, hey, this is going to happen. We didn't actually get the approval till January 10th. So we're talking about, half of October, November, December, and then half of January almost. Mm-hmm. So 3 months once we got this kind of news. You think that we can have this happen within the next 11 days? That would be absolutely nuts. I'll tell you this, guys. Again, I have been on record by saying that I think that there's boring sideways action for the next little bit. I don't know why my chart is not showing all of my other drawings. There we go. I thought it was going to be more boring sideways action, but if there was something that was going to pump us to new highs before, 3 to 4 months post halving, this Ethereum ETF looks like it is the news, the excuse. Now, again, I want to keep a cautionary tale on people. A lot of times these things happen. Stories come out. There's a little bit of a shakeout that happens. We got to wait for the next couple of days to confirm this. But what we see happening with Ethereum, very, very strong, very, very important. Again, I'm here on this chart that's lagging, so I got to go back to Coinbase because it's lagging. It looks like it caught up, though, because I think Binance is now reporting the correct price. It's just not reporting the same wick. Ultimately, we're in that range, though, of the smart trail concept. Let's take a look. We've taken a lot of looks at Ethereum. You have a question, T-Shirt, before we look at other altcoins?
Well, I was just going to say, start maybe a little conversation. Like, now that we have this big change in the market, what could this mean? What coins out there that are Ethereum coins could have some big upside from here? The first one that comes to my mind is Uniswap. Remember, Uniswap had a huge move up. Now, this was the result of something that didn't have much to do with Ethereum. This was just governance vote for Uniswap. But since then, Uniswap has given most of those gains back, and now it could be poised to go back and test those highs back at 15, currently trading at 8. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you this. Let's go take a look at Uniswap chart. A lot of room here. Again, printing a daily buy right now. You can see the last daily buy was not a good one back here on April 22nd, but that happens. Again, a lot of the bullish calls in that zone weren't good, and I kind of discredited them when they happened. I like what I'm seeing here. Take a look at where the next level of strong resistance here for Uniswap. We have a breaker block, and we have a smart trail back up here, closer to $10.50. This is a level of former support before that big breakout to the downside back in early April. This right now, I mean, if we could keep pushing here, Uniswap's got, I grabbed the wrong tool. I grabbed like the box tool. I got to grab the one that tells me the price action. This has a nice 25% Uniswap. All right. I'm borderline. I literally started this video earlier by saying not to ape into things, but I'm actually kind of tempted to enter a trade into Uniswap. I'm going to hold off because I'm not going to do something negative. I might just see. Let's see. If I were to wait for a level a little lower, there's not a lot. I mean, ultimately, I'd have to wait to come back down to 790. But with this news, I don't know. This is the kind of news that makes you throw TA a little out of the window in terms of an entry point and just say, what are we looking at to the upside? And again, when we're seeing the upside, next major level. I mean, take a look at this, guys. This is a massive volume gap. Turn off LuxAlgo here on Uniswap. Massive volume gap right here when you're looking at recent price action. If I can click the button correctly, there we go. Thank you so much. Nothing in this range. A lot down here, A lot up here, back up to where I was saying, $10, $50, $11, but nothing happening in here. So this is one of those things that either A, we're going to reject right in this gap and come back down, but based off of this story and this momentum, this has the striking to me, T-Shroom, to be something that just makes us run to the next shelf, and that shelf is north of $10. We're currently at $8.20. Chat, let's put a 1 in chat if I should be entering a live Uniswap long right now. Put a 2 in chat if I should stick to my morals and not chase rallies. I'll give you guys some time.
And my mind goes straight to Uniswap because it is the DEX for Ethereum. You might be sitting there wondering, why Uniswap? Who cares? This Uniswap isn't Ethereum. Well, so basically anything in the Ethereum ecosystem just got as much of a thumbs up, in my opinion, as Ethereum, right? Uniswap, I think, would be the first domino, in connection with Ethereum's this bullish headline. But let us know in the chat, what are some other coins that you think could have some big upside here from this Ethereum news? I mean, Matic, all the layer 2s come to mind, Matic, Optimism, Arbitrum, but they all have their own narratives going on, their own, their own order book as well.
Let's check some of those out because, again, these are Ethereum coins. I mean, everything's doing well. Right now, Optimism up 13% of the day, just absolutely on a tear right now. Let's go to lower time frames first and just see what's going on here. Just obliterating through it's normal take profit. If there was no crazy news going on, it's normal take profit there. I'll tell you what, I probably will enter a trade here. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes because it does look like momentum's slowing down here a little bit, but I'm probably going to enter a trade here in just a couple minutes. Let's do some TN other coins, and then I'm going to look at that Uniswap. Speaking of, let's just even take a look here. Yeah, so a lot closer to some strong levels of resistance, although we could break through that breaker block easily and make a push up here to $33 and whatever that is. That's 20%. I mean, that would not be crazy to see a 20% rally here in Optimism up here into the $3.30 area. But yeah, a lot of bullish craziness happening right now. I like it. I mean, we're not getting a buy signal here just yet on Optimism on the daily chart like we are with Ethereum, like we are with Uniswap, but definitely seeing its momentum. Again, of my coins I'm watching, with the exception of Ethereum up 10%, which is crazy based off of its market cap. Optimism, one of the ones I watch, looks to be the big mover of those. The graph's up 10, Theta's up 13, but again, these are smaller projects. Pepe looks like to be up 11, Injective 15%. It's going nuts here. Again, look at that. Look where its next breaker block is up, and it hasn't touched in a while. You could see Injective have a nice 20% rally, give or take, before hitting that strong level of resistance. Let's look at Arbitrum. Where's Arbitrum on my list? There we go, right here. Only 8.4. It's only up a measly 8.4%. Nothing special here, T-Shroom. Printed a daily buy a couple of days ago, though. So early to call. You will have a smart trail concept coming into equation here at 117, but I like that take profit. I even look at this and I see these longer time frames. Again, you want to see what happens at that rejection zone right there at 116. But with all this momentum, if this holds fast, making a push of 38, 40%. What is 20%? 20% gives us, or 25% gives us the lower level of take profit. But I like the daily chart buy signal in play. If we can push through that smart trail, that first level of resistance, I like a potential rally even as high as back up to $1.48. That's a 41% rally. And this is a thing. The reason why that makes a lot of sense actually is because Arbitrum's pretty far down. It actually has a lot of room from the rally here down pretty much, right now it's down.
Yeah, it's at a lot of token unlocks, right?
Yeah, after being down 70%, it's still down 63% from highs this year.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are going to look at that and say, oh, it's problematic. I look at that and say, no, it's already showed us in this rally that it can get as high as 280, 290 and be good. So the fact that it's at $1.05 to me actually makes Arbitrum. They had a big unlock that happened too, I think, as part of this falling in price. I think Arbitrum potentially is a coin that it makes sense to have a 40% rally back up here to $1.48, $1.50 because it is so far down. Let's see. Matic is another one. We've been watching a trade on Matic. Matic is sitting here, in its own little like bear pennant, but I think that this is one that breaks the upside anyway. Yeah, got a nice breaker block right here, kind of mixing in with that smart trail. How much of a rally would that be from current prices? Let's just see if it's anywhere close. It's not the same 10. We're looking at 10% getting us closer, 20%, sorry, getting us closer into the take profit back up at 88 cents. It printed a daily buy signal here a couple of days ago as well. So it was ready to explode to the upside. But again, I'm going to keep my eye around 78 cents. This is another one. I'm in a long, I think, right now on it anyway. And I think my take profit was going to be around this 78-cent zone. I'm interested to see what happens when price gets back there. If that ends up becoming a stopping point, or if we're able to get the pressure to break on through.
Excellent. Well, if you're just joining us, we are in the Investing Bros. Thank you so much for choosing us to tune in this historic moment. We're going to be getting into the news that just happened. If you're just joining us, if you're just picking up your phone and seeing updates, prices moving to the upside, this is why Eric Balcones has tweeted out, hearing chatter this afternoon, that SEC could be doing a 180 on this, referring to the spot Ethereum ETF's potential approval, pending approval by the Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States. They could be doing a 180, says Eric Balcones. Increasingly political issue, so now everyone is scrambling. Like us, everyone else assumed they'd be denied. Tim, I almost think that, and then if you go over the poly market, you can see that just minutes ago, this put money where mouth is spread was just 11% chance. Just like yesterday, and now it's all the way up to 50%. And we saw it live here. Just if you were with us, drop a 2 in chat. If you were with us watching live, it went from 17 to 15%. It was pretty remarkable. Tim, I'm almost thinking here is like some aide just went up to Biden and was like, "Hey Biden, did you see like the report that I sent you? You haven't read it. It says that if you are pro Ethereum, that actually people will vote for you." And Biden was like, "What's Ethereum? Is that a new pudding? I love pudding." And he's like, "No, it's a cryptocurrency." And then Biden was like, did a little bit of research, was like, "Well, Gary's the only thing standing in the way of Ethereum getting mainstream, and then people will vote for him." I think that might be what's going on here, Tim. What do you think?
Sure, maybe. I have no idea. I don't. I doubt that that's what it is. But maybe, maybe. It does
changing.
look. It does look like things are slowing down here a little bit, which makes me, again, it makes me kind of, this is why you don't chase your emotions, because I started getting emotional, everybody. I did start getting emotional, but I'm sitting here. I don't want to trust this 1 hour chart stuff, though, because that's too low. I don't see Bitcoin going back down there. I don't see this with Uniswap. Where did I have Uniswap? I guess I didn't have Uniswap up on my watch list. USD. I like it, but I'm kind of tempted. I don't think I can wait for 795 though. I feel like that's too low. That would like eliminate almost all the gains of this entire pump. So I'm kind of tempted. Let's do it. You know what? You only live once, everybody.
That's right.
You only live once. Let's go ahead and enter. I don't love that. I don't love the stochastics is high. Let me go back here one more time. Let me look at some oscillators here. Everything's really high on the 1 hour. But it's gonna when you get to the 4 hour and up, you're seeing room for an increased improvement. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna take just a small bit. We're gonna go 3x. We're not gonna go nuts here. We're gonna go market. Let's go $200. If you'll go with $200, I have $200. I might have allocated more than that. 200. I think I'm good there.
Ada Ace said 50x. Tim, Ada Ace.
All right,
out of control.
Ace. When you want to use your own money for that, go right for it. I'll do no. I mean, again, here's the reason I'm not going to go up in X is because I'm chasing a trade. I'm chasing a trade right now, so I'm going to go nuts with this sucker. All right, so now I've created this. A lot of times, this is how I do it when I market buy. If I limit buy, I put in my stop loss. I do my research. I put in my stop loss. I put in my take profit. Let's go back over here again. This is you guys getting special treat here because this is what I do with my VIP trading group.
Yep. This is not financial advice. This is
not financial advice. This is chaos. This is chaos in a bucket.
Financial science. This is financial awesomeness. There we go.
All right. We're long. All right. If I'm going to wait for, I'm not going to go nuts here. I'm actually going to be conservative. I'm going to wait for 1014. That's a 21% rally, which means I'm going to give myself a 7% stop loss. 7% brings me back down to, give or take, what do I have that at? Come on now. 771. That wasn't my. Where's that put that?
Very wild. Very wild stuff.
All right, it's lower than that. All right, I feel good with this because again, I don't think it's even going to make it down to here, but that's a strong level of support at 793. So that makes me feel comfortable about my stop loss going in there. So take profit, stop loss. My stop loss, I already forgot it. Let's go back out to the daily chart. I want the exact number. Exact number. You guys are watching live. 771. 771 is our final answer. Boom. And my take profit, I said, was 1014. That one I actually do remember. I don't know why, but I remember that one. So right now I'm risking $47 to potentially gain roughly 130. Let's get 130 because that looks cooler on paper. 1015. Boom. All right, I got my trade put in here. Let's see if this works out. Just to make it prettier, I'll add the details of this one as well. Where is it? There we go. Boom. I'm in profit already, so that's good.
Now this is the Blofin exchange that you're using here. This is a good exchange.
This is the exchange of the investing bros. This is Blofin. So if you guys want to trade similarly, if you guys like what we're doing here, you want to support the channel, check it out. Right now, I'm already up $9 here while we're live. Speaking of something we have to do Saturday, we still have, and if you think I forgot about you, I did not. We still have a $100 community trade to do on Saturday. We didn't plan for that one today, so we'll do that Saturday still. But that is we're exciting times right now.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Marco, who just became a diamond member, which means Marco gets to join the VIP trading group. Again, to get in that VIP trading group, you either buy LuxAlgo, and then the cool thing is you buy LuxAlgo, now all of a sudden you have a tool that you can trade like a pro, and I'll teach you how to use it. But also, if you join our diamond membership, you get in there as well. So Marco took the alternative route. I love it. Marco, what I need you to do, go into our Discord. In fact, let me show you guys, because I saw someone, don't go to my screen just yet, T-Shirt. I want to show them, kind of walk through it, because somebody was confused about this the other day. Let's go to general chat. All right. So if you come in, and you can share my screen now. If you come into our Discord, a lot of stuff going on here. Great general chat conversations going on. What I need you to do is scroll over here. You'll see a level called VIP traders here, right? In my case, I don't need to do it. Obviously, I'm in here. But if you want to hit get access, you hit get access. This creates a ticket. Just come, or you can create a ticket, boom, and then just post. If you bought LuxAlgo, tell me the email you purchased with so I can look you up. If you're a diamond member, just say, Tim, I'm a diamond member. I'll be able to look you up. Just tell me your YouTube name. I'm a diamond member, and I will admit you in, and you'll be a part of our VIP trading group. Again, chaos today, but normally when the markets are not chaotic, it's a little easier to trade and make some guaranteed money, and that's what we do over there.
Yep, and this episode is being brought to you all by Arculus cold wallets. If you're looking for a good cold wallet to store your crypto on, this is the one that we use, the one that we like here at the Investing Bros. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, you're getting notifications on your phone saying Bitcoin to the moon, Ethereum's going higher. Why? Well, it's because there has been a massive update. The SEC is more likely now to approve the spot Ethereum ETF. Doesn't mean they're going to do it, and it does not mean that they have done it. So the ETF for Ethereum has not been approved. What has changed is that the main commentators from Bloomberg have adjusted their probability from 25 to 75, and this has sent the betting markets for this question, for this spread, much, much higher within just a few minutes. So the Ethereum chance of being passed by the SEC for the Ethereum ETF has increased. That is why the markets are moving up to the upside quite rapidly. Tim has taken a trade in Uniswap just while we've been live. He's looking to make some massive, life-changing gains here on Uniswap, taking advantage of this moment. So, Tim, how does it feel?
It feels good, T-Shroom. It also feels good. Bitcoin just touched 70K.
Oh, wow.
We're wrestling with it. We keep, on my exchange, we keep touching 70K and then coming back down here this is on Coinbase. So a lot of selling. I mean, I bet you a lot of people take profits, sell orders right in at 70000, then a lot of zeros after that because we're wrestling with it right now. But hey, listen, I cannot tell you how excited I am when I get wrong about things, T-Shroom. Earlier in this very stream, in this very video, I said I would be surprised to see it get to 70K today. I think I said 71, but I might as well have said 70 because I would have been surprised. I thought we were going to reject somewhere in that 68, 68.5 level. Of course, I did not know Ethereum news would be coming out, so forgive me for not knowing everything. But you know what's great? Here's what's so cool when you have a hodl bag is no matter what you think the market's about to do, that hodl bag will always benefit when things go up. So I love what's happening now. My portfolio, I'm not going to show it to you guys live, but I guarantee if I go and look at my portfolio, I'm liking what I'm going to see here in that. But it's all happening to us live.
Absolutely.
And we got about 10 minutes left. Just so you guys know, it's going to be fun to be on there. I'm going to be on Stocks with Josh tonight.
Ooh.
I saw earlier someone said, is this the pre-show for Stocks with Josh? That's pretty funny.
Kind of.
So take a look at that. That's going to be going out closer to 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you don't follow Stocks with Josh, you want to. Phenomenal educational content going on over there. There we go. Bitcoin securely through 70K, pushing 7,500. Oh, my goodness. That is just going nuts right now. I'm glad I got into my Uniswap trade. I'm glad that I went with my emotions, T-Shroom. That's not a common expression when you're trading. It's not a good expression to say I went with my emotions and it worked out. It doesn't happen that way often.
Well, it wasn't purely your emotions, right? Though, because you're an experienced trader, you know that this is a moment where price is very likely to go up. This is a moment where a major event has happened in a market where the volatility was pretty minimal, today, and then it got hit with a piece of news that totally changed the market, and so the market has to reprice that news. It could be to the upside, it could be to the downside, but it's not going to stay where it is because this news is big, right? So I think you made a calculated decision here. Was part of your decision making emotional? Absolutely. It's never going to be 0%, right? But this, I think, was an excellent entry. And frankly, I'm feeling a little FOMO.
No, my only emotion part of it is like just normally I would wait for normally I would not buy into the madness. I would wait for the madness to subside because there's going to be, and here's what's going to happen is it might be a lot higher, but at a certain point I'll be really high. I won't be able to take profit. It'll cool off. I actually entered this aggressive trade to be in this trade now for probably a couple of days, if not a week or more. So I'm not expecting to be in profit by the end of the night. If anyone thought that that's what I was entering, that was not. I kind of entered a more longer term trade, meaning a couple of days, maybe even a week. But I don't normally do that. So that's a very different type of thing that Tim does not normally do. That's why I said trading with my emotions.
Absolutely.
It's not going to see it happen often. We're gonna take time for some Q&A. Again, I got to go at 4:10. But T-Shroom, before we get there, you're back. It is time for our factoid of the day, and then we'll get into some Q&A.
And it is an Ethereum factoid. Just kidding. Wouldn't that be crazy if the factoid
you had planned that would have been great.
Had that level of predictive abilities. So here we go, Tim. Here's the factoid of the day, brought to you all by Arculus cold wallets, who we partnered with for storing crypto securely on a cold wallet. Tim, what is a Lauderdale? Is it a French toy? Is it a person? Is it a horse, or is it a fish? What is a Lauderdale?
I mean, sorry, it's a horse. It's a horse.
It's a horse?
It's a horse. Pretty sure.
You're locking it in?
I'll lock it in.
All right, here we go, Tim. It's a person. So Fort Lauderdale is the fort. It was originally forts during the Seminole Wars. Took their name from Major William Lauderdale, the younger brother of Lieutenant Colonel James Lauderdale, and that is how the city of Fort Lauderdale got its name. And I was just there, bros, for my bachelor party, and it was glorious. If you're watching for the first time, make sure that you smash the like button and that you consider subscribing. We're covering breaking news of the spot Ethereum ETF potentially getting approved here just in a few days on Thursday. Tim, what do you think?
That was slightly misleading because you didn't say the name of a person. You said a person. So I thought you were talking about like a civilization. So when I saw person, I was like, I don't think there's a civilization called the Lauderdale. Okay, fair factoid elf, but I felt like that was misleading.
I see what you're saying.
I feel like you can do better than that.
Well, I'll have a talk with the factoid elf.
Yeah. Tell him he needs to be more distinct with the answers he gives us. Let's get into some Q&A, everybody. If you got a couple of minutes here, look at the poll. I think Crux is in here putting the polls. Do you like trading during times of volatility? Yeah. Okay. I'm not saying my answer out loud. I think you guys should probably deduce what my answer is. But what do you guys have for me in the way of questions?
Oh,
Mooey Nog said ETH target. I think I said it earlier, but let's go back and take a look again. Based off what I'm seeing here, I think I said I'm expecting to take profits when it inevitably happens, probably tomorrow, to give us a level up here at 38. It'll probably be the second level will be over 4,000, but I'm going to stay conservative. I'm going to stay conservative and say 3,800. 3,800 is going to be my target for this move. And I know it's not that far from where we currently are, but, sometimes these things happen like this where it's massive move in the beginning and then slows down for the next couple of days with smaller moves here. T-Shroom, are you going to say something right there?
Just remind everybody watching, we've got a lot of folks watching and a decent amount of likes, but let's get those likes up. You're tuned into the Investing Bros. We go live 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day to bring you what matters to your crypto portfolio. We're live right now, and we're reporting on this Ethereum news. It's big, and it's pushing assets to the upside, and we're excited about it. Unfortunately, one of our own bros here, Joe Nickel, said he closed a 10x ETH long a few hours ago.
Bruh. Left it open, you could have become Joe Dime. Get the. There we go. Thank you.
That is comedy.
There we go.
That Top is notch. The definition of comedy.
Top notch. Let's go in here real quick. Somebody asked Tim, can you look at DOT, please? DOT, here you go. This is a trade set up, and I didn't know good stuff was going to happen here. This is the VIP trading group. This is what you're missing out on. This was a trade put into VIP trading probably 2 or 3 days ago, this weekend, and we hit it today with these wicks. Look at the long situation we got played. This is before I knew of the craziness of what was going to happen. I was looking for DOT to break out of a symmetrical triangle pattern that should have been bearish. Actually, I think I made a video about this the other day too. That's what really is happening right here. I made a video about DOT that went out on Friday. So the trading group got the trade set up. You guys did get the video with me saying I think DOT's going to break the upside. This news just seems to make everything a lot better. Let's take a look at what we got going on. Yeah, here we go. There is a breaker block sitting right above us, but this is one that I was anticipating was going to get broken. It's been tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now 6 times. And then at a certain point after you hit a breaker block so much, just like if you hit a normal brick with a sledgehammer, it eventually will break. Right. I think we break through there. Don't be surprised to see some hesitation around $7.90. $8 area where the smart trail on the daily chart is, but I'm looking at the order block up here, up at 864 is my target for Polkadot. Love Polkadot. I think Polkadot's going to make a lot of money for people because I think the price is going to go up, but I'm even more excited about just the DOT's ecosystem and what it's going to continue to do for the crypto space with interoperability. I know we had a story about Polkadot. Didn't we teach you? Yeah.
Now, we do have a story about Polkadot, Tim. This is from Protocol Village. Bringing it to us here, Polkadot Parachain Moonbeam announces Moonrise initiative for the next phase. So take a look at this. Supported by comprehensive brand redesign, Moonbeam unveiled a new 2024 product roadmap with significant milestones, including core protocol enhancements to increase throughput, 8x incorporating Ethereum's Dankun upgrade and optimized governance. Other markers include revitalizing the Canary network, Moonriver with XLR bridging, and launching the ZK auth program for Web 2 authentication. This is a pretty big development, I would say, for Moonbeam compatible parachain on Polkadot. So that's a smart chain parachain on Polkadot. So, a lot of words there that you may be unfamiliar with. Basically, Polkadot continues to build, continues to get stronger, and as Tim just illustrated, the price is going up and the market is repricing it to the upside accordingly. Polkadot definitely got a good place in my portfolio. And someone asked about Injective. That's another one. I do have some Injective. And unfortunately, it looks like our own Crux of Crypto swapped half of his ETH for AVAX this morning, earlier today. That is unfortunate.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
It's unfortunate to a degree. I mean, because Ethereum's up almost 12% this morning. Okay, let's just take a look here. I'm not going to try to make an argument that all of a sudden, he would have made more money going to AVAX, but let's just even look here because Ethereum to move 12% takes a lot of money compared to AVAX. So Ethereum, since this morning, let's just pretend he sold somewhere here on 3,100. has been up 9.5% since, versus AVAX since that same time frame when he switched it all would be up. Come on now, grab the tool correctly, and then here we go. Yeah, 5%. You missed out on 5%, but ultimately long term, I know it's emotional to say that. I'm not saying that everyone should go switch all their Ethereum for AVAX. That's not what I'm saying. But when you look at coins like this is something people should do at a certain point, is take profits from these higher coins that are great coins, but take profits from higher coins to put into some of these lower coins that you still like. Why? Because guess what? Look at the market caps right here. 1.3 trillion, 400 billion, 83 billion. Let's just say $5 billion comes into a coin. Coins into every coin individually. 5 billion to these top coins up here means nothing. 5 billions to these coins means that's like an increase of 30%. Almost 50% in a lot of the cases. If you kind of come in here in the 14, 15 spot. Let me look at Chainlink right here. Chainlink, again, we've talked about the massive gains we think people are making Chainlink, and a $5 billion going into Chainlink would increase its price by 50%, versus if it were to happen into Bitcoin and Ethereum would be a bullish candle, but it wouldn't be anything to be super excited about. I mean, we're talking about a 12% gain, 13% gain for Ethereum versus 50 for Chainlink. We're talking about a 2% move for Bitcoin, 1%. I don't know. I'm not doing the math well off the top of my head, but you get my point here. I understand that concept of saying, oh, if you told me, man, I just sold all my Chainlink for US dollar, or I just sold all my Ethereum for US dollars, I'd be like, yeah, you messed up, bud. You done messed up. But if you say I moved all of my Ethereum into a more volatile, greater appreciation asset like AVAX or Chainlink or Injective, I'd be like, hey, maybe you're not up right this second. And could you have waited a little bit longer? Like, it'd be nicer to do it right now, or maybe even later tonight. But I wouldn't freak out. And the reason I say that, and this is a good way to end the show, a little bit of perspective and a little bit of psychology here. If you live your life, and this is just in general, if you live your life second guessing all of your decisions, you are going to be anxious, you are going to be chaotic, and moving forward, if you're always focused on those past moves, you're going to ultimately end up freezing up and not doing anything whatsoever. In the world of crypto, I want you guys to go and know you are going to make mistakes. There will always be, you can always go back in the past with 20/20 vision and say, I should have done that, and I should have done that, and I should have done that. You can't live life like that. You have to learn how to read the charts and the news and make the best decisions you can in the moment, and then learn to live with the consequences of those decisions, because otherwise you will live in a world of chaos and anxiety, and that is not what you want. I would not want $1 million if it meant the rest of my life I'm anxious about all of my decisions. When I make investing decisions, it took me a while to get here, but ultimately, whether it ends up being the best decision or not, I look back and I say, you know what? I had a good reason. This was my reason. This was what the chart said. This is what the news said. It was a good decision in the moment. Whether it's the perfect decision or not is not the question. It was a good decision in the moment. And a lot of times that second guessing, you just flip and flip and flip and flip and flip and flip, and you end up living a life of anxiety, and B, you end up making mistakes that cost you a lot of money. So I understand why people are saying this kind of stuff and saying like, oh, I just sold my Ethereum. Ultimately, I understand your thoughts of saying, if I had just held on, but I'm going to tell you right now, the sooner you can get rid of that type of thinking, the better for your mental state and for your investing long-term. If you sold Ethereum this morning, you did it for a reason. And at the time, it was a good reason. You should always continue to make good decisions. You should never make decisions based off of crazy what-ifs. Nobody this morning knew that we were about to get a 40% jump in percentage chance that Ethereum ETF was going to be approved. We didn't know that. We didn't have that information. You cannot be mad at yourself for making an investing decision when that type of information was not to be had, right? So don't be upset. If you guys sold Ethereum this morning for another coin, even if you sold it for US dollars, do not be mad at yourself. You made a decision based off the information you had at the time. Now you have new information. What are you going to do going forward? With that said, if you guys enjoyed this show, And it's been a fun show. We changed the title 3 or 4 times. T-Shroom's gonna have to go back and probably change the thumbnail to match the new title. If you guys enjoyed it, though, smash the like button, first of all. It's absolutely free. And also, hit subscribe. We ran out of time today. We had to do a $100 giveaway, but with all of the chaos, we ran out of time to do it. So here's the thing. T-Shroom's going to announce the winner tomorrow. Right now, you got to go into our Discord, go join our free Discord, and comment, I love ETH. And you will be entered to win $100 tomorrow. But you got to be subscribed to the channel, and you got to be in our free Discord. Go do that right now. Love every last one of you. See some of you guys over there with Stocks with Josh. T-Shroom will see you tomorrow. I leave for vacation. See you Saturday. Adios. Take care.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.